Greetings, Fantastic Fours. Great to have you with us. I hope that you are all well and ready to do maths. A reminder, as at the beginning of every lesson, if you'd like to email me, it's grade4@worksheetcloud.com. It's Mr. T, Mr. Travis. After the lesson, click on the link above the video and do the worksheet just to make sure that you've got what it is that we do in today's lesson. Before we do what we do in today's lesson, we're also going to start with our usual 10 mental arithmetic problems. I give you 40 seconds. You just have to put the answer and then we go through them immediately. These are the sorts of things that you should just know on the tip of your tongue. It shouldn't really need to be working out. It should just be there. Right, remember that accuracy is more important than speed. Your 40 seconds start now. Halfway there. Stop. Time's up. Right, let's mark them. 18 plus 3 is 21. 1 plus 18 is 19. 8 plus 3 is 11. 8 plus 6 is 14. 7 plus 19 is 26. 13 plus 11 is 24. 16 plus 3 is 19. 18 plus 15 is 33. 3 plus 19 is 22, and 10 plus 15 is 25. If you missed any of those, just rewind the video, go through it again. You can see I use slightly bigger numbers today, but these are still things that you should be able to do very quickly in your head. Okay, so today's lesson is about area. We looked last time at perimeter. The next step is to look at area. In grade 4, we don't need to do too much of the calculations. Mostly doing just the finding what the area is by counting, but I'm a big fan of shortcuts, and there are some shortcuts I'll teach you which lead into grade 5 work. So who knows, maybe by the end of the lesson you'll have some of the grade 5 work on area under your belt as well. Our goals for today: understand what area means, understand that the area is the space inside a 2D shape, be able to count to find the area of shapes in units, be introduced to the formulas for the area of squares and rectangles. That's what I mean by the sort of grade 5 work. And finding, that should be area, finding area of irregular shapes by counting. So area is the space inside a 2D shape. And because it has 2 dimensions, our units also have 2 dimensions. So in grade 4, we mostly look at square blocks, or units, or that sort of thing. But yeah, if you were looking at centimeters, you'd end up with square centimeters. If you were looking at meters, you'd end up with square meters. I will show you that once we get to the whiteboard. So to begin with, we just count the blocks to find the area of the shape. So it's a little bit blurry, but there's a gray shape there. And if I count up the small squares inside the shape, I can tell you how big, what the area is of the whole shape. So counting there, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And so the area of that gray rectangle is 12 blocks, or 12 units, but we've got squares, so we'll call them blocks for now. So it doesn't have to be a nice easy shape. We can have something like the purple one on the left where we have to count them again. So the area is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that one has the same area as the square that we looked at on the previous slide. If we have a look at the next one, again we're looking for the area. Well, this time I can go 1, 2, 3, but that's not a whole one. Let me count all the whole ones first. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's all my whole ones. But if I put these two together, I can get another whole one. And if I put these two together, I can get another whole one, because those are half ones. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So the area of this would be 8 blocks, or 8 squares. Then you can get a complicated shape like this, where maybe this one's a half one, but this isn't a half one. This is like a third of a square. And that's like 2/3 of a square. But you might notice that if I took this piece and put it with this piece, that would be pretty much a whole block. And that's kind of what we do. We kind of mix and match until we can make up as many whole blocks as we can. So we'll do a bit of this on the worksheet. I'm not going to count all the blocks in here, but the way I'd go about it is to count each of the whole blocks first, then count the ones that are half blocks that come to a whole, and then I'd look at these pieces over here that don't quite make up a whole, and then I go, nah, it's close enough, that's not quite there. Put them together, pardon me, and get my answer. Okay, and then this, towards the end, we're going to have a look at shortcuts for regular shapes, and by that we're just going to look at the square and at the rectangle. So I've got some shapes that I've put over here. I think I might need to zoom in just a little bit so that you can see the blocks. Oh, there we go. Okay. So we can, for this first couple, or the first 4, we're going to first look at the big blocks. So what I mean by the big blocks is there's slightly darker blocks there. Oh, that was awful. You put a ruler in place. So you can see over here, there's my dark blocks. And so for the first one, I can go, well, that's 1. Let me just switch off my ruler. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so the area for this one is 6 blocks. That's if I was using the big blocks. I'll count them again if I'm using the small blocks. Let's have a look at the second shape, the square on the right-hand side. I'm again just going to quickly put the big blocks in, and then we can count. So 1, oh my goodness, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we say the area for this is 4 blocks. And I do just want to just get into the habit of writing it as area equals and area equals. Okay, just so that we've got it written down properly. I am going to break these down into the smaller blocks. So I'm going to rub that out. And then I'm going to look at the smaller blocks that make up. So I hope you can see, I can definitely see that on the screen. We're going to start with the next one, and I'm going to count how many blocks I have. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. And this is going to take forever. But I can see, actually, that this shape that I've counted where there were 50, there's another space in the middle that would also have 50, and another space at the end that would also have 50. So instead of counting it all over again, I'm going to say, well, if this one is 50, then this one's 50, and this one's 50. So my area is 150 small blocks. Oh, it would have taken forever to count all of those. I'm not even going to rub all of them out. Let's have a look at the next one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I've got 10 in one of those rows. And let's see, that's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So what I was doing was I was saying I've got 10 in the first column. So there's also 10 in this column, and also 10 in this column. So I was counting in tens. So I said there were 10, and there were 10 rows of 10, and so the area for this one is 100. That almost looks like a 6 blocks. Okay, good. We've done the first two. So I'm not going to count the little ones again in the third and fourth one. I'm going to again look rather at the bigger squares, just to save us a little bit of time. Put my ruler on again. All right, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my area is equal to 5 blocks. So have a look at the shape on the right hand side. We're going to use the big blocks again. So I've only got one whole big block, which means I have to look at the smaller blocks as well. So I can see that here's one whole one, but this half and this half make another whole. So the area is equal to 2 blocks. That's the big blocks. Let's move down to the next two. So I've got some slightly different shapes. And this time I think we're going to use the small blocks because over here I don't want to include the spaces for the window and the doors of that house. Okay, so let's start off by counting, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to count all of my whole squares first. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 81, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 91, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's 100 so far. Still, now this part, I'm only going to do the whole blocks first. 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 119, 120. I'm going to jot that down here so I don't forget that. So the whole blocks is 120. But I also have these half blocks. So those two will make up a block. 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 And those two will make up a block. So that's an extra 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So adding that to my 120 gives me 125. And so I will say for this one that the area is equal to 125 blocks. Whew, it was quite a long way. You can see why it is that we like to use those shortcuts so that we don't have to count every block in the big shapes. But for the next one at least, we're going to count. For the next couple we're going to count before we get to showing you how to use those shortcuts, those tricks. Let's pick green for this one. So remember, I'm not counting the blocks or the spaces inside the windows and the door. So just the house part. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, And so the area of my house is, oops, let's write area is equal to 61 blocks. Ah, that wasn't so hard, was it? So I hope you're seeing that the area is the space inside the shapes. I'll get, when we do the sort of little bit formulas, then I'll explain what I mean by the 2 dimensions and how I mean by a square shape. So for now we've just got blocks, but later on we get a square unit. Now we've got these very messily drawn, hand-drawn ones. I'm not going to tell you who drew them. It was me. And let's go through those ones and see if we can figure out. So again, I'm going to start with the ones that are whole or almost whole. So almost whole, if there's just the tiniest bit, I'm going to be like, yeah, that's close enough. All right, your teachers, when they mark this kind, will definitely give you some room for error. So I'll show you what I mean when I get to the end. Okay, so that's one. That's almost a whole one. I'm going to count it. That's another whole, almost whole one, almost whole one. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, almost whole 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. That's okay, that's 22. So I'm going to jot down the 22. And now I'm going to switch it over to using different colors so I can get the almost whole ones. Okay, so I can sort of see that if I took those two together, that would make a whole one. If I took all three of, okay, let's say this one down here with this one here would give me a whole one. I sort of would say that this one and this one would give me a whole one. Maybe this one and those tiny pieces would give me a whole one. And that one and that one would give me a whole one. So it's a rough thing, but it's giving an idea how that's quite close. So let's look at my half ones. I've got 22 for my whole blocks. 23 is the green ones up top. 24 is the blue ones. 25 the yellow. 26 the purple. And 27 is the black ones. So total was 27. So area. And now I'm going to use something that we used with rounding off, is almost equal to 27 blocks. So you can see how I've used the almost equal to. So I suspect if your teacher was marking, if you were in my class, I would mark right anything that was 25 to 29. So if you got 25, I'd mark it right, 26, 26 and a half, even up to 29, I would still mark it right. If you did 29 and a half, I'd be like, nah, that's a bit far. Nothing for you. Okay, let's have a look at our last irregular shape. Another beautiful artistic drawing by me. Okay, whole ones first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, almost whole 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38. All right, so we've got 38. That's our whole ones, or very, very nearly whole ones. I would say that that plus that make a whole one. That plus that make a whole one. That plus that make a whole one. I would say that those three pieces together make a whole one. Or maybe actually just those two. And then maybe this one and that piece make a whole one. That one and that one make a whole one. This one and that one make a whole one, and the tiny piece there. These little pieces and that one make a whole one. this one and that one make a whole one. This and this make a whole one. And the next one is pretty close, so I'll say this and this make a whole one. All right, so then we go through and we add up our bits and pieces. See if you can do that on my drawing. Gone a bit all over the place, but let's have a look. So I think it came to about 12. I might have to double check that, but that means that roughly, if I add those together, it comes to 50. So the area is almost equal to 50 blocks. And again, I would mark correct anywhere between, I wrote 5 blocks, whoopsie, 50 blocks. Anywhere between 48 and 52, I would mark correct. Okay, now we get on to the slightly, well, actually, this is probably what I find to be quite, oh, why am I not getting smaller? Let's use the keyboard. All right, so these are rectangles, and this is where we get I get a little bit excited in maths. Maybe that's because I'm a maths nerd. I get excited about these things in maths. But if you look at the big squares, we'll do it first with big and then with small. If you look at the big squares, I'm not using my ruler, but it's roughly there. You'll notice that there's 2 and 2. Yeah, so 2 and 2, that's 4. But you will also notice that if I'm counting, there's 1 here and there's 2. So the length of this side shows, so 2 of them are touching the side, and 2 of them are touching the side. And if I said 2 times 2, I would get 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Interesting. Let's have a look at the small blocks. How many small blocks do we have? We have, well, let's count how many are touching this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 are touching this side. 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 are touching that side. Let's count them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Another row of 10 is 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. And you might have noticed that 10 times 10 is equal to 100. And in fact, what this means is that we can use this. So we don't have to count every time. We just count the length along the sides. We times those together and we get our answer. So looking at that in a general way rather than specifically with the numbers that I've just counted, I can say that if this is the side number 1 and this is the side number 2, actually those are the same length, so let's call them both just side. So then I can say side, oh no, let's write this properly. Area is equal to side times side. That's not 5 times 5, it's side times side. And in this case, what we need to do is count our sides. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So one side is 10. The other side is also 10. So side times side is equal to 100. So 100 and 100 watts, because if you just put 100, Mr. Travis will mark you wrong. So 100, well, it's, we can say little blocks again. So let's say blocks. I'm just going to put BL because I'm running out of space. The same is also true for a rectangle. We can just accept that the area of a rectangle is equal to the length, because we don't have only sides. We've got a long side and a short side, and the width is the short side. So let's count what our length is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So 20 times what's our width? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times 10. We're going to use our tricks that we've learned when we multiply. So we times by each other. So we've got 2 zeros, 2 smiling zeros, and 2 times 1 is 2, and so our answer is 200 blocks. And if you sat and counted all of those blocks, you would find that there are 200 there. That would have taken you much longer than just doing it this. So I've got 2 for us to work out here. You don't have to redraw them, but let's try them on your own. So I'll put the formula down underneath them, and you see if you can work it out. So we're going to work with the small blocks. So the area for a square is equal to side times side. So work out what the sides are, and then you can get your answer. And the area for a rectangle is length, the long side, times width, the short side. I'll give you a few seconds to get those done before I go through the answers. Right, if you'd like a little bit more time, pause the video. So what I've got to do now is count the length of the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The side is going to be the same because it's a square, so I don't actually have to count the other side. I know it's also going to be 8 because that's one of the things about a square is all the sides are equal. 8 times 8 is 64, and we're talking about blocks. There's that horrible little rhyme that children always quote to me, and I think it's so gross. I ate and I ate and I was sick on the floor. 8 times 8 is 64. I just think it's far easier to remember that 8 times 8 is 64. But if you want to remember it that way, that's okay. Right, looking at the next one. This time length of a rectangle and the width of a rectangle are different, so I have to count both. I'm going to start with the length. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's count the width now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 10 times 5 is 50 blocks. So the area of that rectangle is 50 blocks. Well, I hope that makes at least some of area a little bit easier. And that you've seen that we can use these special, tricks. So the length times the width gives you the area of a rectangle. Side times side gives you the area of a square. I hope that that's helped. I hope that you've got an idea what area is. So it's the space inside a 2D shape. I haven't had a chance to talk about the square units, but I don't think that's critical. We can always come back in another lesson. So that's all we have for today. I hope it makes sense. Click on the link above. Do the worksheet and make sure that it makes sense to you. And if not, it's something that needs to be practiced. Grade 4s, have a fantastic day. I look forward to seeing you again. Goodbye.